Hi everybody, it's David Fleming here from the Toronto Realty blog, and welcome to this week's Pick 5. Now, can I start with a funny story, or at least one that I think is funny? I mentioned last week that I was wearing a filming hoodie. I had a couple people email me and be like, you need to take a little more pride in your appearance. Anyways, this morning I said to my wife, where's my hoodie? Where's my rogue sweatshirt, which I wear to the office every single day? And she said, I put it in the laundry. It was pretty stinky. And I was like, but it's Thursday. I got to film Pick 5, and that's my filming hoodie, kind of as a joke. And then she went like that and looked, and I looked, and it was in the laundry, and I went and picked it up, and she literally fought me for it. And anyways, now I'm wearing this one. So yeah, look, I'm still in the office wearing a hoodie. That's where things are in the market. And I don't mean to keep you updated via what I am currently wearing, because that's kind of weird, but rather just to give you an idea of how the business is working right now. I'm in the office. There are 2 other agents in the office, but essentially we are shut down. Agents are all working from home, but that doesn't mean that the business is. It doesn't mean that the industry is. And this is what I find so interesting, is that there are still just as many people as in the building as there were in, let's say, the end of March, when it was like the dregs of real estate. But what I've seen in the last week, guys, the market is starting to move again. So let's regroup. A couple deals on the board this week for buyers in competition. That's happening, right? We've got a listing that's out right now. We had put out at post-COVID, crickets. And now literally every single email that comes in is somebody asking for the home inspection. I thought when the state of emergency was lifted, that is when the market would start up again. I was wrong. Things are moving along. Now, let me show you a listing. So this is 55 Edwin, and this is a colleague of mine. I wrote about this sort of indirectly on my blog on Thursday, talking about the 24-hour irrevocable. So this did not have an offer date, and it ended up with 9 offers, listed at $1.1 million, sold for $1.311. Now, what's this worth? Well, it's worth what someone's willing to pay for it, right? That's what my colleague had said. You know, it's worth $1.311. But the plan in advance was, if we list this at $1.1 million, we have 1 offer for $1.1 million within 36 hours of listing, you have to be prepared to take that. Now, what ends up happening? The first person comes in and offers $1.1 million. And of course, they tried a 2-hour irrevocable, and my colleague said it says 24 hours. You can play or not. But over the course of the next 24 hours, offers keep pumping in, and you end up with $1.311 million with no offer date, right? That's organic. That is happening without the offer date. I would encourage you, if you get a chance, to read the blog that I wrote on Thursday, because this is talking about the sort of new strategy, which I called a soft holdback. And that's what we're seeing, is a lot of people are listing properties with offers anytime, but they want 24 hours. And I had alluded to this in Tuesday's blog, and then I wrote about it specifically on Thursday's blog. So the part of the market that's blowing up is entry level, right? And I did a deal last night for a house that clients really wanted. Did not overpay. If we're comparing this to, let's say, February, I think they probably got it for $75,000 less than they might have in February. $1,225,000, $1,300,000 was what it could have, would have, should have sold for, right? But that's a discount that has a lot of meaning. Now, you may say as a percentage, well, it's only what, 5-6%. That doesn't sound like a lot if you're thinking about the stock market, for example, where you have massive swings in value. But for a real estate market that has done nothing but go up for 20 years, I call this an air pocket. I think that this is an opportunity right here, far be it for me to say because I sell real estate for a living. It's an opportunity right here where there actually is a small pocket where I think properties are underselling. Do I think that's going to continue? No, I don't. The more momentum that builds, the worse it's going to get for buyers, the better it gets for sellers. And we are seeing a massive discrepancy right now between listings and, well, supply and demand. We would have expected a lot of listings to come out this week. We're not seeing it. So I want to push aside the entry-level stuff because I talk about that so much. Today's Pick 5, as you probably saw from the intro, I want to talk about 4-bedroom homes on the east side. So this is the map, but I'm going to zoom in here, and we're not looking at the red dot specifically. I want to just kind of talk broadly about the east side. So I always refer to the east side and the west side, right? That's where you're getting your entry level, your 3-bed, 2-bath semi that are listed for $799, $899, $999, and are selling anywhere up to $1.3. When we get into 4-bedroom houses, you could have semis, you could have detached, but location is key. So in Plater Estates, this is prime, right? We've got that listing right now. Semi-detached 3-bed, 3-bath. I mean, list $1.7 million, what will it actually go for? But that's prime Plater. So ignoring Plater, you get into Danforth Village, where, again, this is a hot pocket for 3-bed semis that are entry level. But in this area here between Pape and Nonlands, you get a lot of 4-bedroom houses, and it's not Plater. It's a step up still from Danforth Village. So another house up here that I wanted to show you that I really like on Floyd, I sent to a client, haven't heard back yet. And then up here you get a lot of new builds, right? Because they're all bungalows, the original stock, and these things are torn down and people are building, $1.8 to $2 million houses. So down here we've got Riverdale, right? A lot of 4-bedroom houses. Most of them are probably going to be semis. Bella, come on, I'm filming. And then you've got down further south, you've got Riverside, you've got Leslieville. Again, a mecca for 3-bedroom semis, and in between somewhere you're probably going to find that rare detached 4-bedroom. So you move over here into, let's say, the Beaches proper. Yep, ton of 4-bedroom stuff. South of the Danforth, right? This one here in Hanson's going to be interesting. And you get into this pocket here where there's actually a ton of 4-bedroom houses in what I wouldn't really call the Upper Beaches. I don't have a name for this, I'm sorry. But bottom line, there's a massive difference with price. Oh, that's perfect, all 5. How price and location interact. So here are the 5 properties that we're going to look at. I feel like I need to keep her busy. We're going to start here with 115 Hanson. So this is a very, very interesting property for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's a 4-bed, 4-bath for $1,295,000, not holding back. It's been on the market for 73 days. The second interesting reason is just simply the listing history. So these guys came out at $1,545,000. $1,545,000. That's wild, right? And wasn't up, wasn't down, right? This was legit. Came out in February. This is pre-COVID, $1,545,000. So then they came out at $1,395,000. And again, price wasn't increased, wasn't decreased. Now this was, 10 days later? And now they're out at $1,295,000, and they're sitting on the market for 73 days. So, there's probably more to the story here, right? But if you see $1,545,000, $1,395,000, $1,295,000, you got to say, okay, well, what was the seller thinking? $1,545,000 doesn't make any sense. And then here you are still at $1,295,000, and you're 73 days in the market. So this is a semi, and it is what? A newer build. Now, where is Hanson? Well, Hanson's south of Danforth. Hanson's in this interesting little pocket between Coxwell and Woodbine. It's not closer to Eastland, Westwood, and Park. The pocket, right? The pocket is over here. So it's between Coxwell and Woodbine, and I always refer to the fact that, I love these east-west crisscrossing streets. South of Danforth maybe gets a minor price adjustment. Like, would I rather have a 3-bed, 2-bath on Wolverley or a 3-bed, 2-bath on Drayton? I would choose Wolverley. I don't know why. I just prefer that. And I think the market does as well. So the house on Hanson here is a 3-story, and it's 4 beds and 4 baths. And these baths are a 4-piece, 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 and 4-piece. No powder rooms. These are like legit full bathrooms. So from a layout perspective, living, dining, kitchen on the ground, bedroom second and third, and then you've got master and you've got a family. It's an awesome layout. So like, what are we missing here, guys? Here's the floor plans. Here are the floor plans, I should say. So kitchen and breakfast. It actually has a breakfast nook. Dining and living, perfect. Second floor, bedroom, and master. And then top floor, another master. This is so much space, I can't believe it. It's unbelievable. And then here you've got rack and garage. So a bit confusing. I don't know if the photos will clear it up at all. Wood burning fireplace, amazing. I'm never going to find that anywhere else, right? Living, dining. You've got a wall separating the dining from the kitchen, which is original, as is this kitchen. And you've got a breakfast nook. So this thing needs work, yeah, but look at the size of it. Unbelievable value. So it shows its age, right? And it could definitely use a reno, whether it's the countertops or whether it's the lack of an undermount sink or whether it's the gold door handle. But there's value here, $1,295,000 for 4-bed, 4-bath. It's wild. So the photos aren't great. You get the idea. Look at the size of that bedroom. That's unbelievable. Ensuite and outdoor space. Awful light fixture. So finishes are bad, right? House is old. I mean, look, same thing. Ugly door handle, ugly floor. I go back here, like, look at just everything about it. But it is old. And it's $1 million. That's the rec room on the main floor, right? So get rid of the carpet. You got to walk out here. It just looks tired, right? Paint it and put in 50 grand. You're never going to find more space than that. And you have a backyard. It's not like one of those condo townhouses. Again, this is freehold. So this isn't a condo townhouse where you have absolutely no space. You've got a backyard. You have a built-in garage. $1,295,000. $1,295,000 for a 4-bed, 4-bath with a backyard, 18 by 100, got a garage, unbelievable value, and yet it is sitting 73 days on the market. Opportunity. Our next listing is on Floyd, and this is cool, okay? So I have a client that's around the corner, and they were originally thinking, do we stay in the area? 3-bed, 2-bath semi, right? Like everyone else. Hey, how about Riverdale? It's a little more expensive. Well, we really want to detach. Riverdale, no, you're not going to get your price point. How about around the corner on Floyd? This is so rare to see a 29, can I just round up and say 30? A 29 by 125, 4 plus 1 and 5. Private drive built-in garage. And it looks, from the shape, maybe you don't like the stone, and ignore this because this isn't really North Toronto, but if you saw a picture of this house, you might think that this is in Leaside, Allenby, Lawless Park, something like that. And it's $1,375,000 with a holdback on offers. I'm thinking $1,600,000, $1,650,000, maybe more, maybe less, but that's probably the value. So again, if you were to take this exact house and put it in Riverdale, oh my God, it's well over $2 million. So you know what? I'm going to show you the floor plans. I'm going to show you the map first. So where is Floyd? Well, it's kind of in between, right? Danforth Village here, East York here, and they call it Pape Village on the map. You want map? Excuse me, not COVID. Hope. We can call it Pape Village, fine. It's walking distance to Pape, there's some infrastructure there. Obviously, it's a bit further, say 15-minute walk down to the TTC here. But I like this spot. I really do. And I think that if you were to take this and put it in Plater, or you were to put it in Riverdale, you're adding 50%, on a good day. So we'll take a look at the photos, right? You know what I think about family homes. I love the amount of storage space you've got here for your kids. If you're buying a 4-bed, 5-bath, you have at least 2 kids, right? So little details I don't love, but this is a 12-year-old house. So everything in this house is only 12 years old, right? The conversations we have all the time about older building materials, right? Novatube wiring, asbestos, urethromaldehyde insulation, aluminum wiring, clay pipes, all that kind of stuff, not present because this house is built from the ground up 12 years ago. So these finishes, not offensive at all. They're not out of date, right? Nice main floor family room. Beautiful. Right? So, maybe the only knock here is it's not like the standard, new build Leaside layout where you have the extra room on the main floor, but maybe that's why it's a $1,375,000 list. So maybe you don't like the marble, fine, but the point is the plumbing's all there. You can redo the tile if you want to. You can paint out the baby blue if need be. There's a lot going on in this bathroom, fine. But my point is that this is a solid structure. It's 12 years old. It's built, right? You've got the high ceiling in the basement. You've got the layout you want. And if you really don't want this bar, I don't know, maybe you just want the mini fridge, fine. But it's got a sink, it's got a fridge, throw in a dishwasher there, you're laughing. That's full bar. Here's the bedroom in the basement, and you did see the rec room. So they've only got 18 photos. This thing to me, guys, right, and they're holding back offers on this, this thing to me is probably about $1,600,000. That's what I think it's worth. All right, let's move on to the next one. Now, remember this listing because, as I said, I want to play it off one that is in Riverdale. So this is fun. Now we're going to go to 30 Langford. Oh, you mind if I get comfortable? I'm on 4.5 hours sleep. The sleep regression with my daughter, I don't even want to talk about it, even though you didn't ask because you're a computer. So 30 Langford is right in that pocket where I mentioned between Pape and Donlands. So you've got prime Plater here. We have Pape Village. We have East York. Here's where you get what I call Danforth Village. We are right in between. Now these streets always do well. Dewlang, Eaton, Langford, right? Woodycrest. These are the streets in between that go north-south as opposed to these ones that go east-west, and this is steps to the subway. So, this here now is a detached. It is a 3-story. It's a 25 by 119, but it's only a 4 plus 1 and 3. So if we go to our friend here, this is a 29, 4 plus 1 and 5. That's a 2-story. This is a 25, 4 plus 1 and 3, and it's a 3-story. It's an Edwardian. Is it prettier? Right? So we're playing location here off of what? The extra bathroom? Does it really matter? Well, look, you have one 4-piece bath in the second, you have a 2-piece on the main, and you have a 3-piece in the basement. So what it doesn't have is that master ensuite bathroom for mom and dad. And I make a big deal out of this, and I've had people say to me before, I really don't care about how many bathrooms I have in my house. Oh, but you do. The 4-bed, 5-bath is future-proof. If you want to move into a house with 2 little kids, and have one 4-piece bathroom, no problem. But if you think that when they are 15 and 16 years old, you're all going to be sharing a bathroom and have no issues, well, I can tell you from experience, you're probably not going to. I was spoiled growing up. My brother and I shared a bathroom. My parents had their own. My sister had her own. How the hell did she get that? Right? What's that about? We did a reno. My dad said, you can have your own bathroom. I think she was like 13. Probably had something to do with that. Anyways, I was a very, very nice upbringing. So point being with Langford is that this is a house that is not all there, right? If this had, for argument's sake, the 4-bed, 5-bath, so you've got top floor master suite with an ensuite, you've got a kid's bath to share and then a Jack and Jill, then you've got a guest bath in the main and one in the basement, it's a completely different price point. So the house itself, somewhat original, but charming, right? You can see the original freestanding walls, they don't have a covered porch or anything, so you get all the hooks in the hallway, and pretty standard, right? Living, dining, feels like we've seen this a million times. Now, does it feel a bit narrow here? Yeah, maybe. And then you've got the kitchen, which, decent size, right? Again, does it feel narrow? Staircase on the other side, right? So kitchen's a decent size. You have enough space here for the island. So it's not, your standard, like just the peninsula here. And again, if I'm making a big deal out of an extra bathroom, then I would also say that I'd make a big deal out of a kitchen island. It's one of those features that people just absolutely love. And whether you've got the cooktop in the front, or whether you have the extra sink, or whatever it is, there's a lot of people that put this massive premium on the island, almost like a status symbol. Like it's the next level of kitchen. So very nice kitchen, right? It's not small. There's your main bath. Here upstairs, master with a bay window, nice built-ins, but it's not huge. Kid's bed. And then what's up top, right? So there's your bath that you all share. And then what's up top? That's what's up top. So that's your 4th bedroom. Now, if you did an extension off the back, and this is with every 3-story, this is really 2.5, but every 2.5-story house, you look at this and you say, I'm going to extend off the back, and I'm going to put in a bathroom and his and hers closets. Forget the deck, because you're never going up there. Raccoons live up there. Really, it is a PISS and SHIT factory. That is what it is. You now collect raccoon poop and pee. That's what you do. You're a collector, because that's what you're going to have on your deck. Mazel tov. So if you were to get rid of that deck, you're going to have an unbelievable 5-piece bathroom, and you're going to have his and hers closets, and this is going to be your true master. So there is future in this house, and I think that is what's going to sell it, along with the fact that right now you can move in with your 1 kid or your 2 kid, and you can be very happy. But there's the ability to add value up here, right? And there's your basement apartment. And I think that some people are going to want that, and I personally wouldn't, but a lot of people now are looking for that extra income. I think eventually you're going to want to rip that out because your kids are going to want the space. Now this has this like weird feeling of multiplex to me, but it's good backyard, it's a great lot, legit parking, and it'll go for a number. Nice graffiti art, yeah. So, I mean, as far as the, oh sorry, I missed the family room. Yeah, see here, family and 4th bed. Just in case there was confusion there, yeah, this one here, right? So there's the bedroom, and I had mentioned blowing out the back. There's the deck, right? There's a family. Okay, so we're on the same page. Great. So comp-wise, right? We'll take a look at our listings on Langford. And, here's one that sticks out in my mind. It's a 4-bed plus 1 and 2-bath. Now, this was wild. Okay, so this was in March, pre-COVID. Like, literally, these people sold on March 10th, $1,635,000. Can I just tell you that on March 20th, they probably got $1,435,000? Yeah, like, seriously. So, $1,099,000, $1,635,000. It's a semi. It's a 20 by 199, 4 plus 1 and 2. 25 by 119, 4 plus 1 and 3. Detached. That's what I always do to my wife. When she has a great idea. Like my mind's blown at your great idea. So $1,635,000 in March, 20 by 119 for a semi. Apples to apples, $100,000 for the detached factor. Extra bathroom. I hate the basement apartment, but whatever. I mean, all things considered, COVID aside, what is this, like $1,800,000? I don't think I pay $1,800,000 for this. I don't think I pay $1,700,000 for this. I don't know. That's just me. You know what? I think this is a far better house. So you start to see here, guys, Langford. Someone wants to be here in Langford. Great, good for them. If I had a client that said, sorry, David, I really don't like the area of Floyd. Like, it's too far north. It's not the right school district. I really want to be a couple of feet from Danforth. And I want to be like walking distance to Pape Station, but I can't afford, I can't afford Plater Estates. You know what? Amazing house for them. For me personally, and this is where I'm maybe putting too much of my own input here, I don't know. I like the bigger, better house. Maybe just a stone's throw away. So we'll continue merrily along here, guys. The next one's Wrenson, 77 Wrenson. So where's Wrenson? Sounds like awful Wrenson. Well, it's in that area I talked about that I don't really know what it's called. You know, once upon a time, Upper Beaches was here, like upper, right? I mean, this is the beach off of Queen, and this is like up here. But now this is considered a beach, and Upper Beaches is like up here. You know what I really hate? I hate when someone calls Crossover Street Upper Beaches. You are nowhere near the beach, okay? So Renson's in this little area here that's north of Eastwood, south of Gerrard, in between Coxwell and Woodbine. I've got a few clients in some of these streets, Bowmore, for example, Bellhaven. There was one more, I can't even remember the name, to be honest. God, I'm so terrible. Okay, great. So this house is what, 3 blocks from the park? Perfect, okay. Let's take a look at the streetscape. Okay, so here we are, and here we are. Yeah, you're across the street from a school. Some people love it, some people hate it, right? Some people hate kids. One of David Cross's early comedy routines comes out, and everyone's clapping, and he opens with this. So, I don't hate children. And the entire audience is like, what am I supposed to think? He's like, I don't know where that came from. Anyways, he launches into this amazing thing, which I use quite some time, which is like, your kids are boring. Your kids are boring. The parents that stories parents tell, which I used to say are boring, and now I tell them. And David Cross is like, this morning, oh God, Sebastian, he was just staring at a meatball. He was just staring at it. It was the funniest thing. And he's like, who cares? I don't care. That's boring and stupid. I could stare at a meatball. Why is this interesting? Literally, I'm that guy now. I find myself telling stories about my kids that are literally out of David Cross's comedy routine. And people that don't have kids don't understand. It's awesome. Although I probably would not care if it was someone else telling me that story. So if you hate kids, you don't want to live here. What are the drawbacks? School buses, cars constantly dropping off kids, a lot of through traffic, noise from kids' voices, school bells, that sort of thing. So other than that, which again, if you don't hate kids, you know, it doesn't matter. We have a detached 3-story, 24 by 155, 4 plus 1 and 4. Wow. The only thing we don't have, we have a detached garage and a mutual drive with no parking, right? Which means it's probably a shed. So the house is kind of cute. You can see across the street here, right? There's the school. I like the covered porch. You know that I'm really big on that. This one does not look like it's 4-season. But inside, we've got a pretty big house. Needs some TLC. Right? This is a great room. This is pretty. It's well staged and it's fairly original, right? Living, proper dining, and then you've got the galley kitchen, right? So that's the thing. Like original Lee Side Semi, for example, similar layout. Take down that wall. Oh my God, that's where my mind goes. Ronald Reagan. Tear down that wall. Berlin Wall. So, yeah, tear down that wall and open the darn thing up because no one wants a galley kitchen and they don't want it for this price. And maybe that's why this thing's not selling. As is, maybe we don't like the green floors, right? Oh no, one of my appliances is in stainless steel. What am I going to do? The ceiling reminds me of my grandmother's place. Big whoop. You got a great footprint to work with here. Okay, original floors, if that's your thing, refinish them. I don't know what's with the lonely chair. But there's a lot of original character in here. It just doesn't show exceptionally well because, you know, it's a bit tired, right? Here's the addition off the back, these weird little rooms that are often kids' playrooms. People call them tandems. You can see there's electric heat back there. You know, so yeah, I mean, here's your top floor, and you've got what looks like an additional air conditioner. So I think this house has a lot of potential, you know, and then you see the basement, like, you know, with the wood paneling, the tile floor, right? Got this weird kind of little original kitchen. The key here is potential, and, you know, there's not a lot of curb appeal. I think that's what's holding it back, right? It's not a pretty house. But if you were to consider what this originally looked like, this is like a beautiful Edwardian. So they've closed the front porch, which, as I said, I'm a big fan of. If it's done well and tastefully, it's great. Here, I don't know. You know, screen door situation happening. You know, maybe it's just a photo, right? That doesn't look good. It's a fair shot, right? It's a big property. It's a 155-foot deep lot, right? Cool tree house. What's not to like? So this thing has a ton of potential, guys, honestly. And, you know, you go back to the price, $1,399,000 on the market for 21 days, 4 plus 1 and 4, 155-foot lot. Some people object to not having parking. And the fact that you were on a busy street with a school across the way, maybe that's a non-starter for some folks. But on the market for 21 days, right? maybe you're looking at this one, maybe you're monitoring it, maybe it's coming down in price. And if you look back at our list, you know, Langford's going to sell for a huge number. Floyd's up to $1.6 million. Hanson, you know, I mean, you could probably get that for $1.25 million or less. Now we're starting to see, right, $1.399 wiggle room on the price. I have 4 full bathrooms as opposed to Langford, where I'm sharing a bathroom with my kids. And then we move on to our last one. And how does that play off of Withrow? Now, in my honest opinion, there's absolutely no comparison. Withrow here, aside from the fact that the photos are really weird, Withrow here is an A-plus property. So we are in prime Riverdale. We're on Withrow, which is a nice street. We are 2 blocks from Withrow Park. We are in Withrow School District. We are a 5-minute walk from the TTC and a 5-minute walk from the Danforth. It's an amazing location. And it's prime Riverdale. And it's a beautiful Edwardian house from the outside. Really, really pretty. There's lane access behind this house, and there is 2-car parking. Legit 2-car parking because it's a 20 by 125. So it's a 4-bed plus 1 and 4. It's been on the market 7 days. And this is where it's interesting. Showings in person will be able to take place on May 28th. So they've listed this thing with no in-person showing. So I'll just say it, like it's an out-of-town agent, right? The property's tenanted. It's a bit of a situation. We'll look at the listing history here, shed a little bit of light, and you could see, oh, okay, well, someone leased it, right? So we paid $961,900. We did a ton of work to it. This was an estate. This did not look good. We're looking at this now and we're like, God, I would have loved to pay $961 for this house. Original condition, even right down to the green furniture that you would expect your grandmother to have. So this sold for $961,000 and it sold in 2016. So we renovated it and then we put a tenant in there for $5,000 a month in November 2018. And these people are obviously leaving, right? Year and a half there. So now we're listing it for $1,945,000. Why we're listing this before people can actually go inside, I have no idea. Why we're listing this with these weird ass photos, I also have no idea. So front porch. Okay, now we're into portrait as opposed to landscape, right? Another portrait. Okay, garage, license plate, whiteout. Cool, spy camera photo, rockin'. Crooked photo, I'm with you. Another spy camera photo. Creeping in the corner photo. And from there, it's pretty much what you expect. Another vertical. Another weird one from a weird angle, tilted slightly. I mean, this is what happens when you bring your BlackBerry 8700 because your BlackBerry Bold is in the shop and you take photos, this is what you get, right? It's a beautiful house. It's listed extremely poorly. Holy crap, what's happening now? This is so... okay. You know what? I'm not going to make any more comments. You guys make comments. It's a photo of a closet. It's a beautiful house. It's like the worst job I've ever seen listing this. So let's regroup here. We have this beautiful house. We listed this when there are no showings available in person. We're looking for a closing date of June 17th, but we can't get in the house till May 28th. Oh, what is that? That's the, what's that called? The 20-day closing. Yeah, a lot of 20-day closings happening. We took photos on a camera from the 1800s where it went. Remember those cameras from the 1800s? You had to put your head under the hood, you'd hold something up, and literally it would just explode, just powder everywhere. Yeah, it's terrible. So certainly not how I would have listed this, but you know what? To each their own. Okay, so let's go back to our 5 listings here. I think you kind of get the idea. There's a big difference when you're looking at 4 bedrooms. We started on Hanson, and you can get a townhouse with 4 beds, 4 baths, legit, needs a little bit of work. You can pull that thing for $1.2 million plus. And then we finished with almost $2 million for an absolutely gorgeous house with a terrible job listing in prime Riverdale. So from $1.2 million to $2 million is a very big gap. And this is what I find so interesting on the east side in an area that is absolutely dominated by semi-detached homes. Dominated by 3-bedroom homes. Is we ended up with a set of 5 houses looking for 4 beds, right? Only 2 are semis, 3 are detached. And what that tells you is more often than not, you're going to need, and one of them is a newer build, awkward kind of semi. More often than not, if you want 4 beds, you're going to have to look at detached. If you can get into those semis, right, and Withrow is a 2.5 story, you know, and they call Langford, which is detached, but that could basically be a semi if because it's about the same width. You know, that's a 3 story with 4 beds. So you can get into these tall 3-story semis. But if you want 4 beds and you want a 2-story traditional layout, you're not living up, you're living out, that's where you're going to get something like Floyd on a 29-foot lot, but you're living up on Floyd, which is maybe where you didn't want to be, or maybe you're, you know, going as far as Wrenson, which is, you know, a hike from, let's say, Prime Riverdale. So that's it from you guys for this week. You know, market takeaways if you've made it this far in the video. And again, I don't want to sound biased. I will admit I was very surprised by how quickly things started to move this week. And I don't think it's, you know, post May 24 or anything. I think that we're all in this COVID situation together. And I don't know when it's going to end, and I don't know what the ending is going to look like. And I literally think if Joe Biden wins in November that armed militia will appear in the tens of thousands, and Donald Trump will not leave the White House. And then like COVID doesn't even matter. That's an aside. But I don't really know what to expect for the world going forward. I will probably never go to another live sporting event again. Those are big picture things that I really can't help with. And my job here is to look at a micro level what is happening in the real estate market. COVID aside, the real estate market is moving, and I'm actually quite surprised by it. I chart the numbers every single day. Do you want to see this if you've made it this far, honestly? I chart the COVID numbers because, you know, why not? Because I'm crazy. And, you know, every day, this is what I do when I drink my morning coffee. You know, like here's Ontario cases, right? So, okay, looks like we've come off the peak. You know, when I look at Canada cases and you see the one big spike, but even without that, you know, here we're kind of rolling off the peak. So, you know, bottom line, guys, like I don't know where this is and I don't know when it's going to end and I don't know what that's going to look like, but I can tell you the real estate market's moving. So if you're a buyer and you're holding out because you think prices are going lower, I respectfully disagree. If you're a seller and you're trying to, you know, time the market, the worst is over, right? The dregs of April is done. Don't shoot the messenger. That's just my opinion. Anyways, guys, I am going to run. Thank you for watching. Have a fantastic weekend. See you next week. Bye for now.